Away. I know it ain't easy, but that's okay, cause we hope. Welcome back to Signals on 91.3. Signals Marketplace is over, except that, let me try. Hello, good morning. Nope. Mr. Patrick, send us a WhatsApp message to 0809-234-5913, and then I'll see your message. Well, we'll go straight to Signals, where we're having a conversation with the profile is plenty. The profile is very, very plenty. It is. Well, we're discussing media then and now. He's savvy at several things. Many people know him as a serial entrepreneur who founded several successful enterprises, non-governmental organizations. Others know him as a journalist, editor, and media manager. The literati knows him as the slam master, the consummate literary event organizer who co-founded the famous Abuja Literary Society, the Eco Literary Society, and the Enugu Literary Society, who has helped nurture and promote hundreds of budding literary artists. Yet others know him as a poet and writer whose books The River Died and Spirit Walk have won critical acclaim. Still, others know him as a consummate corporate communication specialist who was first head of Radio Nigeria Strategy and Communications Department and the then director of FRCN Lagos Operations, supervising the three bands Metro, Bond, and Radio 1. Well, in 2021, he completed his tenure as Zonal Director, FRCN Southeast Zone, where he supervised Radio Nigeria's 7 bands in 5 states. He's highly sought after media trainer and consulted for the BBC Media Action, Christian Aid, and the U.S. Consulate General Lagos. Is presently the director of WABMA. He will tell us what WABMA is. Special thanks to Temitope Molly for making this happen. Well, I have with me, I hope I get it, Ken Ike Okere.
Yeah, you got it.
I have to get it. I have to, because thou shalt not murder the names.
I'll tell you.
Okay, welcome to Signals.
Thank
right?
you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, sir. We're talking media then and now. What has really changed?
Wow. What has really changed?
Yes.
Almost everything.
Okay.
What has not changed is the need for standards.
Okay.
But every other thing has changed. If we begin with technical matters, for instance, and I can simplify it for your audience. In the past, I'll just use, there's a Yoruba saying about radio, that instrument or device that talks to you. And you can't talk back to it. That's no longer radio.
Yeah, they get it. I don't know. I'm
not ahead Yoruba, so you should tell us in Yoruba. Okay. So now I've just listened to your interaction with your listeners. People are calling in, talking about their business, and even customers of theirs can even interact with you and them right here. That was not the case with radio. For the first perhaps 5 decades of its existence, 50 years or more of its existence, okay? And not just with radio, with TV, okay? Now, I'm sure people call you from many countries of the world while your program is going on here in Lagos, okay? That again is due to technology, the information communication technologies. So now you can stream because now radio is no longer just analog. In analog times, we're talking about sending signals via mainly electrical energy. Now you are talking about digital, which has to do more with electronic signals. Okay? And these signals are translated. I won't go technical, but the point is, people can
we can interact.
You can interact everywhere. You can send your message everywhere. People can log on online and reach you because you are streaming online. That is huge. The world is now your oyster. The world is your agidi. Let's put it in local parlance. The world is your beans now. The world is here with you. You don't need to go far. So that's technical for radio. Now, content has also changed.
Yeah.
In the past, radio content or media content was basically decided by someone who had this omniscience feeling that I know what is good for the listeners. And I design it and they must take it whether they like it or not. And we had to bear it and take it because we had no choices. Now, media compression, media technology compression has enabled the rise of many niche stations. Niche means special, specific. In law, they will say sui generis, which is what's reigning as special. You know, you now have your station, for instance. That's mainly an all-talk station, where those who like talking or listening to a lot of arguments and talk can tune in for 24 hours every day and just remain on it. They don't need to go to a station that does only music or a station that does only news. So now there are many more choices. Now consumers are at the driving seat. We now in the media now program content according to what we know consumers want. So the driving circle has changed and the driver has changed. We now, even though we still drive, we respond to market conditions, we respond to the consumer, and we create content that we know they want. How do we know what content they want? Because we now have interactivity. So you are now on radio. I can see you are doing Facebook Live. You are probably streaming on other channels, YouTube, and so you're a multi-platform station. And immediately, if people like this show and even what I'm saying, they can concur or they can disagree.
True.
And you can now incorporate all that into the programming. This never used to be the case.
So do you miss it? The old radio and the new radio, do you miss it? Which one do you miss?
Really, it's like I don't really. I don't miss it in one way.
And then you miss it
then in the other way you miss it. When you are used to something, sometimes you miss it. It's like an old car that you've had forever. Now you now have this new one. Even though the new one gives you a lot of speed and comfort, sometimes you miss the wahala of the old one.
Now, if we look at, now you've told us the technicalities of producing content. Now, if we look at the content then and the content now, what is... Because now we have an influx of everybody is now a media personnel, everybody. We're now dealing with fake news, we're dealing with fact checking. We didn't used to have that. It's whatever the radio host or broadcaster tells us that we run with. But now we're combating.
Yes. That's the negative aspect of the rapid growth, especially in Nigeria, of media explosion starting from 1992 when the regulation happened. Now, the media industry, especially for broadcast media, radio and TV, grew at such an exponential rate that it outstripped the number of trained professional broadcasters. And so it had to become an all-commerce affair in order to be able to just keep the number of stations coming up on and going. And unfortunately, the media owners were either incapable, unable, or unwilling to invest. Incapable, unwilling, or just not interested in trainings. And so standards plummeted. Yes, standards dropped. And so in the old days, you couldn't even be allowed to speak to the microphone until you had passed through a certain standard of training. So, and you must have done your basic courses in whichever, if it's in journalism, you are going into news production. If you are going to be on the microphone, you must have done basic presentation courses, at the minimum a basic presentation course. Now you have people who come on air and they adopt all sorts of fake accents that are neither. There are only few authentic English accents in the world, native to them: British, American, Australian, Canadian. Those are the four authentic. What many people speak these days is none of this. Okay. And often is an amalgam of all of this.
A mix of the four.
But that's not even the major, one of the major issues. The spread of fake news on air, because many of our people are either unable to find ways of getting the right information. Again, coming back to training, the lack of training. Because with the new technologies we have now, I can actually sit here and in a few minutes affirm or debunk any story.
Immediately.
Because I have the skills, I have the media literacy to be able to do so. But so there are positives and there are negatives. And let's hope that the positives will outstrip the negatives.
The media space has taken a turn for everyone. Everyone has become a media personnel and all of that. Now, what would make a good media personnel for you? A good media person for you?
A good media person must be a professional. A professional is none other than someone who has gone through a required level of training for that profession he or she wants to profess. You must have gone through a required level of training for that. If you have not, you are not a professional. A professional is one who knows who has the skills. And these skills, dear my dear, are not innate. No. Okay, talent must become skillful. It must be burnished to become a skill.
Talent must become skill.
Yes, you must burnish your talent. So you may have abilities, you may have a good voice, which may be good for radio, but if you are not trained, you will use that voice to speak nonsense.
Okay, but you know, people have come to meet you that, I have the voice for radio. Everybody just comes and says, I have the voice for radio and TV.
Oh yeah, a lot. Everyone wants
to talk.
And I first ask people who want to be on radio or TV to begin with journalism training.
Okay.
You should be a journalist first. A journalist is one who has been trained to get news, edit it, understand it, and package it in a way that his or her audience would understand. In this process, he becomes a gatekeeper on behalf of his audience. His audience is able to trust him because they know he has fact-checked and has done all the requirements. He's not like a citizen journalist who just is passing through this Ikoyi road and sees an accident happen and maybe 10 people are brought out unconscious from the accident, and he takes his phone and he just snaps and then he posts it because he has 5,000 followers on Facebook and he says accident on Kefi Road Ikoyi, 10 people dead. And then let me just conclude this story. And then he posts all their photos, their faces, everything on there. Then Kemi in Ikorodu, who saw her mother off and that morning, saw that same bus and says, my mom was on this bus, and Kemi goes into a heart attack immediately. Meanwhile, in Kefi Road Ikoyi, those 10 people have been taken to a hospital nearby, and all the 10 have been resuscitated. Meanwhile, Kunle's news has gone to 5,000 people on Facebook. He has shared it to 20 groups on WhatsApp, and he's telling everyone, please reshare. In under 1 hour, that news goes to 1 million people, and it's proven that in 1 hour, a piece of information can reach 1 million people just being shared. And then it goes into history, that on so day at Kefi Road in Lagos, an accident happened, 10 people died, and yet it is not true. Meanwhile, Kemi
already has had a heart attack,
thinking that her mother is dead. That's the citizen, so-called citizen journalist.
How then do we now nip it in the bud? How do we cut it?
We must nip it in the bud by making sure that only those trained are allowed to speak to this microphone.
But
no, this is very crucial.
It is because we're in the era of people wanting to break news immediately.
And yet, we just gave awards in a ceremony yesterday. We didn't give awards for breaking news. There's nowhere in the world where awards are given for breaking news. No.
Well, you're having blogs, you're having news platforms, credible, not credible, everybody. And sometimes blogs will take a news, and credible platforms will also take the news, and then you're wondering.
That's the tragedy of today, that even credible media houses now source their news
from
blogs, from in the internet. An all-commerce affair. And what is this doing to the society? Is raising the temperature of the social system. People are so angry. People are sharing things. Today you get information that, Mohbad was killed. I was just listening to a TV station this morning, and the reporter ended her discussion about Mohbad by saying she hopes that the authorities will find Mohbad's killers. Has it been confirmed that he was killed?
But
no,
that story alone is driving everybody's emotions high.
Yeah, but as a journalist must be like the judges. You cannot pander to the sentiments of the public. Your master is the truth. And until you find out what the truth is, you must stick to the facts.
Stick to the facts.
Yes, because facts are different from truth.
And sentiment.
The fact is, I'm in this studio at this hour. That is a fact. Now somebody can take my photo or take a piece of this Facebook thing and share it and said Ken came to destroy the studio.
Which was a lie.
That is not fact. And people may believe that to be the truth. Now, what is my role as a journalist? Find out why Ken was in the studio. And before I find out, I should only say that on so day at so time, Ken was at the Lagos Talk studio. As to what his intentions were, I must not speculate. So the facts about Mohbad, for instance, is that he died.
True.
The circumstances of his death are yet not publicly known. A journalist cannot afford to indulge in the speculation of the masses. Otherwise, why is he a journalist? He ought to be one step minimum ahead of the people he is informing and educating and entertaining. Is that not what we do?
Yes, for education.
How can I educate you if I'm below your level? I pander in the same sentiments and fake news and morbidity, in social morbidity that is common with the public.
Now, media has power, but does it have the power to control how people think and view the world? Or power still belongs to the people?
It's complex. In the old times, we used to think of what we call the bullet theory. In other words, whatever media shoots out like a gun, it actually has an effect of affecting people that hear it. We found out that there are more what is called limited effects theories now, about the complexities. Yes, to a certain degree, what media sends out has some effect, especially in terms of impact on the society. The mood, media can help direct people towards areas to think about, but it really cannot force opinions on people. because many people already come with their own view on any subject. For instance, what's going on with the presidential elections or any elections, for instance, people are already set in their views.
In their ways.
So, and they will cultivate media. They will go to the media that seems to confirm their own views. So if you don't like a particular political party, you may be following some media that are always lambasting them. And then if you like a particular politician, you will be following media that praises him or her. So in this case, who is leading who? Is it the media that's leading the people, or the people that are following the media that confirms? And we call this confirmation bias in media studies, when we look at why are people following the particular media they are following. A lot of people follow the one that they feel
it's comfortable,
confirm the biases that they carry already.
Okay, hold your breath a little. Signals on 91.3. We're discussing media then and now. We're live on YouTube, Young Cerebral. That is YOUNGCEREBRAL. You can call us or send us a WhatsApp message, 0809-234-5913. We're discussing media then and now with Ken Okere. Okay, so let's really come down to how can one spot credible journalism and how can one be a credible journalist?
Well, to the first part of your question, to spot credible journalists, you have to at least have media literacy. That's something lacking in this country. We need to train our children from junior secondary or even less on media literacy skills.
Okay, hold on. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Please reduce the volume of your radio set.
Yes, I've done that. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. So first of all, let me praise you for my chairman that is there. It's very knowledgeable.
Okay, your name?
Very intelligent man. I'm so glad that this topic is actually coming up. Because I used to remember those days.
Oh, God, sorry, what's your name?
Oh, sorry, my name is Shed. I'm calling from Ojota.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Yes, so I used to remember those days that you have to start radio 4 o'clock and end by 10 or 9. You know, and the context, you know, they try to streamline so many things. But these days, you know, there's a lot of expose, so we can actually get the information so fast.
Yeah.
But the question is that how can we control it truly? Because there's a lot of damaging information that is done, especially our youth now. Like talking about this the pop artist that just passed on in Nigeria. They were asking one lady that who is this person? He said somebody that's Silamo. You can't even understand. She doesn't even understand what they are saying. So we need to train the journalists and the presenters on radio and on TV very well. Just like what my guy is saying. We need to make, and there must be a law, not a selfish law that we have so much around in this country. There must be something that is guiding this, especially all these guys that do tips all around. They have some kind of funny information, and I don't know, in another 15 years, we are going to run into trouble. Okay. I'm telling you, man.
Thank you
we need to sort it out now. And I'm thank God that this matter is coming up now. Thank you so much.
Thank you too. Thank you for listening. Well, you've heard him.
Yeah, and it's crucial. It's actually an existential threat because if you can burn a country using media. The classic example we use every time we train people is Somalia. Rwanda.
Okay.
Rwanda, in a space of just 90 days, Oshodi, you had radio stations promoting hatred, ethnic hatred against another group. Yeah. And in the space of 90 days, two major ethnic groups who had lived together harmoniously for hundreds of years went on each other, and the dominant one in the official records are that nearly 900,000 people killed in under 90 days. It's an existential threat.
Okay, then. Well, it's signal 0809. Send us a WhatsApp message 0809 234 5913. Or call us 009 191 3913. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, my name is Ola from Atapa.
Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Ken.
Good morning, sir.
Almost a century is one of the junior ones.
Thank you.
In 2006, there was a meeting, there was a journalist forum in Ikeda. The was here. And one of the things that somebody stood up and said was that, look, the way it is going, investigative journalism will be the answer to some of the burning issues in our society today. And as of then, but I'm taking a look back up to now. What can you see? Is this still needed, most relevant, and what we have all over? Is this still the answer?
Yes.
Good morning.
The short answer is yes.
Yes.
The long answer is that we must begin with fact-checked reporting. Investigative journalism takes much longer period, takes also a lot of resources that many stations, many media houses cannot afford. If I'm to investigate, for instance, a public official, for instance, money was given for making this road, and it's been 5 years, the road is not finished. It may take me up to a year to actually get all the facts I need to be able to air the first part of that story. But step one is I can air a quick story that is fact-checked. For instance, I can find out how much was given for the road, who collected the money, and what visibly may have been done or not done. Now, all that will not depend on speculation, and I'm not going to make a judgment at that time. I'm not going to say that money had been stolen. I'm only bringing out facts of the story.
Now, we've been talking about training, and you're a media trainer of WABMA. Tell us a bit about WABMA quickly.
Okay, WABMA is an acronym. I mean, it's just a short form of the name West Africa Broadcast and Media Academy. Okay. It's the first of its kind in the whole of the African region. It's the first and major media training academy that offers media trainings across the 7 broad spectrum of media. And that's radio, TV, advertising, public relations, online, corporate communications / PR, and all the like. Now, so it's a multi-platform training institute. It has campuses in Lagos, it has campuses in Enugu and Abuja, and campuses are planned for Accra, Ghana, Cameroon, and the Gambia. And it's the only media training institute in the whole of this West Africa region that is also offering trainings both online and in person. So people have the now media practitioners have no excuse
not to train.
Because before now they had to only go in person to be trained. So now, and anyone who has an interest in coming into media, whether it is online content making, whether it is radio, television, advertising, public relations, corporate communications, and the like, now there is a certification institute that gives trainings and certifications in that area.
Okay. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is John. I'm calling from Bariga.
Okay. Question or comment?
Yeah, I know, it's just like a comment for me. I really want to praise the
guest
man that spoke today on the studio, Mr. Ken.
Yes.
I really enjoyed his explanation on how things are supposed to be, especially in the media world, and I want to agree totally with what he says. I just wanted to add something.
Yes.
Now, the advent of social media has added more woes to what we are talking about, because currently, as we speak, there's an algorithm on our social media that, if, for example, there's a particular thing you like, maybe you're already listening to a particular video online, you comment a particular thing, the social media keeps giving you that same opinion and not giving you the other side of opinion, right? And so people gradually build biases over that thing, over that particular opinion, which they feel, oh, even social media is always telling me about this, Facebook is always social media must be right. So we now ask our journalists to be able to get into the roots of this issue and give us the both sides of the issue, so that we cannot be able to think. Just like you said, the journalist should not be the judge over any issue. They should give us an opinion about both sides of everything. If they attempt to give us every angle, then we, the people, make decisions about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Signals, and we're discussing media then, and now we can. Okere is the director of WABMA. Now, as a highly sought after media trainer and consultant, how can we train the younger generation for credible journalism beyond I'm the first to break the news, I'm the one I know what's going on. And then how then now, so I'll go back a bit to come forward. With all of the things going on with the recent artists that died and the emotions that have gone in, people reporting, for a young person who's coming into journalism and saying that, okay, how do we remove facts from emotions?
Yes. Thank you, and that is crucial. First, we should even begin with the public. I was saying the other time that we need media literacy trainings of even members of the public. About a year or two ago, we partnered with the U.S. Consulate to train more than 2,000 young people across 17 states on fact-checking. How do you consume media? How do you even know that what you are reading on your phone is the accurate thing? When you get a video, before you share it, how do you know it is true?
The fact of
that same phone you have has apps that you can actually put a video in, and it will tell you whether this video is an amalgamation of 3 or 4 other videos put together to make it look like one video. For instance, there's a video the other time about a certain presidential candidate being bailed out from a UK police station and all that. And that is just 2 or 3 videos put together. Nothing like that happened. But it trended and it shared, and radio stations used it on their discussion shows.
Wow.
Now, the members of the public need to be trained on media literacy, how to even, first of all, I always say, maintain healthy skepticism. Never share a video or any information that you cannot bet your life on that it is true. Now, I'm very serious about it. Yes. Never share a video or a piece of information that you cannot bet your life on that this is true. If they say your life or
your money,
no, your life or the facts of this. If you can't be sure, take a moment, wait, give it an hour or 2. Usually a debunker information will come from other sources showing that this is not true. That is one. Then 2, for the media practitioners themselves, my colleagues and everyone who wants to enter this field, the media has the capacity to expose your weaknesses.
True. Very, very.
You come on air and I've just said the one that happened this morning as I was on my way coming here. A reputable television station carrying, in quote, a feature story and concluding already that yes, he was killed.
That's emotions running.
So you ask, how do you remove emotions from facts?
Yes.
1, we said that a journalist's first obligation is to the truth. And he must maintain the discipline of verification. His first obligation is to the truth. his dealings must be in fact, and he must maintain verification as a discipline. In other words, it must be so innate. For instance, Osho, if I hear anything about you now, and it's something I want to use on air, first thing is to say no. It doesn't matter who tells me. It does not matter if it's the most trusted person. It doesn't even matter if it is your hobby or your spouse, somebody close to you. I would want to first find a third source of verification, fourth, fifth, or more, to know. I would like to hear from you first, because once I put out the story, coming back to you later on does not reduce the damage already done. To you. Because disclaimers do not spread as much as they claim.
Nope.
So we must be in no hurry
to break news.
To break news or to share information that we've not verified. And it is not, no media practitioner is excused if he or she comes on air to say, folks, I haven't verified this, so I'm just saying it, but I haven't verified it.
Business being there.
When I run stations, I fire such people at once.
I was about to ask you, do you miss radio supervision?
Well, not any longer. Not any longer. I'm very well dedicated now to training, to helping stations coming up or any forms of media houses. I work with TV, radio, newspapers, online. People want to set up online broadcasting. There's a course we teach on how to set up an online radio station and all of that. So I'm dedicated to helping standards to be brought back to the industry.
Hold on. Hello, good morning. Call us back or send a WhatsApp message to 0809 234 5913. Or you can send us a message. Call us 0809 191 3913 or 0809 222. That's 2 in 3 places. 0913. Or you can join us on our live stream, Young Cerebral. I was going to ask you about. My time is almost up, but this is how we're going to squeeze it in. Propaganda.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Propaganda. How do we deal with that?
Yeah, that's interesting. I teach propaganda.
A good one.
I teach propaganda, and I actually work with even politicians in terms of political communications.
I'm coming first. I'm coming. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Quickly,
Good morning.
Your name and where you calling us from?
Uche from Obalende.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yes, as Mr. Kenny said, you should not refer to only journalists alone.
Yes, sir.
You refer to those that are not journalists, that anywhere they see news, they will post. Anywhere they see news, they will post. Because most of them post unnecessary text that is not confirmed. And again, some of the journalists too, when they are doing their news, they will say unconfirmed news or from unconfirmed sources. They don't need to use all those words. Let them confirm first before coming on air. That is one. Two, then second, I'm not talk of brand envelope.
Okay.
At the end of every event, brand envelope follows.
It's no longer brand envelopes. We accept transfers now.
This is what we want you to say. From government officials. This is what we want you to say. Okay, so I meet my PA.
Okay.
I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you too. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Quickly, your name and where you calling us from?
Okay. Good morning again. I'm calling from Abuja. My name is OCR.
OCR.
Yeah.
Oh, apologies. Well, my time is up, and to everyone who has called in. But quickly,
I wanted to tell him there's no longer brand envelopes. It's transfers now. We don't take envelopes.
Do we even take envelopes?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I don't know. I think I'll have you back again to let's talk about propaganda and good one, clean one.
No, there's good propaganda, really, quickly. That's excellent propaganda. I teach that. We teach that in the West Africa Broadcast and Media Academy.
Please let me take this call from this. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. It's my phone cut.
Sorry. Speak to us.
Yeah, all right, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm calling from Abuja, as I told you. My name is OCR.
Okay, welcome, OCR.
Yeah, I want to appreciate Mr. Ken in the studio.
Okay.
On the topic, the media then and now.
Yes.
I appreciate everything Mr. Ken has said, but I want to ask one question. In the olden days, let's say about 30 years ago, I used to get a radio station from Sokoto down in Imo State near our house is. And now it doesn't work. Unless if I'm online, just like I'm listening to you now in Abuja online. But then, back then, one could get with the normal analog.
FM.
Yes, I can answer you right away.
Okay, so let him answer you, OCR.
Radio station very, very far away.
Okay, OCR, let him quickly.
What really happened?
Okay, OCR, hold on and let him answer you. Let him answer you. We hear you.
OCR, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, he can.
OCR, okay, what happened is simple. In those days, you used to receive them on what is called short wave and medium wave. Those were the huge analog channels that Radio Nigeria, Voice of Nigeria, BBC, and many other state radio stations used to use. Now, most stations are no longer on shortwave and medium wave. We are now on FM, which is a frequency modulated system. So an FM is limited to only a small geographical area. Like this station now, its main terrestrial signal will not exceed beyond Lagos. You can only receive it as you are doing online. So most stations are no longer on shortwave OCM and on medium wave. Those are too expensive to maintain any longer. So that technology is dead. And even though it still exists in some parts of the world, and even in Nigeria, a few people use it, but it's no longer common.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Our time is up.
Okay. So that if they want to reach WABMA,
yes.
wabma.org, wabma.org. All the information they need, they can find there.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And to everyone who has called, listening, I hope we've learned one or two things. Remove your emotions from facts. I want to break news. All of our uncles and aunties that used to be sharing yesterday, I think it was yesterday or Thursday, there was something that I shared, even I shared on my status, and a friend of mine said, "Are you sure?" I said, "It's credible." And my friend looked at me and said, "Are you vouching your credibility on somebody's credibility?" I said, okay. So we dragged, and then I'm like, okay, the information I got was not enough for a lot of things that have happened. I said, okay, fine, I'm not doing it again. And that guy comes from me. I say, oh God, Toru, please leave me. But hey, what we want to do is ensure that we all are well informed and not give ourselves heart attack. Have a wonderful week. Keep creating opportunities for people till we come your way again next week Saturday. Have fun and go and rest.